Hey everyone, it's Ethan Ormis back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. You're here again for yet another CDL video, and yeah, I'm pretty intrigued to talk about this one. I think this will bring up a very interesting topic of conversation for everyone, really, and we're going to be talking about the teams that I think are going to be sticking together heading into Modern Warfare 2. So yeah, what teams are staying together heading into Modern Warfare 2? So yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. I've got 4 to 5 teams, really. But yeah, let's talk about them. So number one is the Atlanta FaZe. I would imagine they stay together, this roster of RC Simp, aBeZy, and Celium. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't, to be fair. Of course, they didn't have the best year. You know, I'm sure obviously they would have rather win or have won some events this year, but you know, that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. They place second, they place second, they place second, they place third, and then they place second. So, you know, I mean, it's an interesting one to say the least. I feel like there's not really much debate for this one. I feel like this is probably the team that's probably second most set in stone currently. Of course, the absolute most set in stone is the LA Thieves, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, I mean, I just think that this team stays together. I can't imagine they want to split up. I think a big reason as to why the success just wasn't there for Atlanta this year was the way that Simp and aBeZy played. I just don't think aBeZy cared that much because he hated the game, and he was pretty vocal about it, especially at the end of the season after Champs. Simp obviously didn't have the greatest year. You know, he didn't have like Simp numbers. Pred really was Simp this year, if you think about it like that. But overall, I just think that this team stays together. Really, I don't think there's much debate to that. Then moving on, I'm gonna make a video about it here in the future, but I don't think Boston stays together. I don't think Florida stays together. I don't think London stays together. I don't think the LA Gorillas stay together. But I do think the LA Thieves stay together, and I mean, why wouldn't they? Obviously, they just won champs, back-to-back tournament wins. I mean, they had a great second half of the season. They didn't have a great start to the season, you know, top 4 at the kickoff, but it's the kickoff, meh. Top 6 at both Major 1 and 2, then second at the Pro-Am, 4th at Major 3. They win Major 4, and then, of course, winning champs. They go back-to-back to end off the year. Nothing. The lowest placing they had in the last half of the year was top 4. You know, I just think that this team obviously stays together, and I feel like this is the most set-in-stone team. Like, there's absolutely no reason these players split up, I would imagine. Yeah, I really don't think there's much of a conversation to this one. Moving on, Minnesota, I don't think stay together. New York, I don't think stay together. Paris, absolutely are not staying together. Seattle is a team that I honestly do think could stay together. This one's a little more up in the air, but I feel relatively confident about this. I think the only 2 players that would move here would be Accuracy or Mac, but I don't think they would want to. I really feel like this team wants to stay together. They had a really decent season for the most part. I mean, you know, they had some ups and downs, but towards the end of the year, they had a much better end of the year than they did the start of the year, right? I mean, obviously they placed second at the kickoff, but then they win Major 3. They placed third at Champs. Major 4 obviously wasn't great for them at all, online or on land, but again, I feel like this team would like to stay together. And, you know, I say Accuracy or Mac would be the one of the 2, or maybe both, to move, but who is replacing them? I mean, you could probably find a sub for Mac. I don't really know who. But as for an AR, who are you getting as an AR with the leadership and skill that Accuracy has? I know Accuracy isn't, you know, putting up crazy numbers like some ARs are, like an Octane or, you know, a Dashi, a Celium. Obviously, they aren't, you know, he's just not putting those numbers up. But I feel like his intangibles are, you know, one of the hardest things to find. You know, same thing with Bance, which we will talk about in a minute. Accuracy is one of those players where he brings so much outside of the game that I just don't think that this team breaks up. And I like again, who even would replace Accuracy if he was not on this roster? Like, an interesting thought I had was looking at challengers and looking at Scrappy, but then that's a very, very young team. Doesn't mean they won't find success, but then who is the leader there? Maybe it's Scrappy. I don't think it would be Mac. I don't think it would be Pred, and I don't think it would be Sib. And then another one that is a little more interesting to me, and I think a little more possible, would be Assault from Challengers. Of course, just winning, placing second at NH or at Challengers Champ. Sorry, with Toronto Ultra NA. I feel like Assault is an option. I feel like he could bring in some leadership that Accuracy has. But again, I just feel like this team stays together, especially the way that they ended the year with third at Champs. I would imagine if they stay together, they have a more consistent year next year as well. So overall, I don't know. I feel like this team stays together. I'm about 80% confident this team stays together. I just don't really see this team splitting up. And then we move on to Texas. Again, I feel like this roster stays together. Scump, Dashy, Illy, and Shotzi. The only possible outcome I see is Scump not liking MW2 and wanting to retire, which I don't know. I don't know. There's probably a big bias on my side because I don't want Scump to retire, and I'm sure most people don't want Scump to retire, but I don't know. I just have a feeling he may not, at least not at the start of the year. But who knows, right? I mean, who knows? There's no shot this team breaks up unless it's a Scump retirement. And then at that point, I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Texas, right? Who wouldn't want to play with Dashy, Illy, and Shotzi? But again, you kind of need some leadership there. Of course, Illy's probably more of the in-game leader. Who's a sub that could replace Scump? I kind of look at the Toronto boys, to be honest, where maybe Kleenex or Bance. Kleenex obviously brings in a lot of slaying upside, pretty similar to Scump in that sense, although Kleenex is probably faster. Or you look at Bance, where Bance brings in some leadership and some veteran knowledge to the game for them, but again, I don't think that's very likely. I see this team staying together as well, unless there is a Scump retirement, which I don't know. I just don't really see it happening, but it's very possible it does. Truly, you don't know, right? I mean, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Of course, the beta is not far away, about a month away, and I think Scump said he would make his decision within the beta, so yeah, I mean, it's possible he doesn't stay. It's very possible he does retire. As of right now, I think this team stays together. I feel like it's, again, are similar to Seattle, where it's about an 85% chance this team stays together. And I think the only thing that would mean this team does not stick together is a Scump retirement. But only time will tell. And then the fifth and final team in today's video is the Toronto Ultra. More than anything in Call of Duty, I hope this team stays together, and I'm very hopeful this team stays together. I do think that they will, to be fair. I feel like a lot of the mentality in Toronto right now, or in the Ultra organization, is, Vanguard is shit. It kind of sucks. Let's move on. Let's try to have a better year next year. At least stick it out for, the first event, maybe the first two events. See if you can find success and see if you still feel confident with this team. And I mean, why wouldn't you? I feel like Toronto was always putting up a fight in their series no matter what. They're one of the most consistent teams of the year. Obviously, that 9-12 or 9-12 position in Major 2 brings down their average, but they won the kickoff. They placed fourth at the major or at Major 1. They placed top 4 at the Pro-Am. They placed third at Major 3. They placed top 6 at Major 4 and at Champs. So a very solid year. I mean, compared to last year, shit. But overall, still a very solid year from them. I just feel like they stay together. I don't even know who would be a replacement for them either. Like, obviously, I'm sure most people are looking at Scrappy or Hicks, or Hicksy, I guess, sorry. Or Scrap now, I guess it is. But I don't think they would replace Insight for Scrappy. And I don't think they put Hicksy in for one of the subs unless maybe there's a Bance retirement on the cards. Bance is only 24, though. I don't think he will retire. I really don't. I think Bance was honestly probably the brightest spot on this Toronto Ultra team this year. So, yeah, I mean, only time will tell. Those 5 teams are the teams I feel like are most likely to stick together. Obviously, you never know. It's very possible all 12 teams have different lineups heading into next year. I just don't really think that is going to be the case. I feel like these 5 teams are the most likely to stay together and are going to stay together. But again, only time will tell. I'm sure we'll start to find out within the next few months anyways. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I am intrigued to know. I feel like, again, it's very possible these 5 teams stay together. It's very possible they don't. So, who knows? Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm very intrigued to know. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.